they're going to test it again. They're going to let the user experience it. If the experience on the field is very positive, then they're moving on to the third and fourth and so forth modules. And that's basically prototyping. It's a quick and effective methodology for the user to actually experience what the system is going to look like, by showing them bits and pieces as the product gets programmed. We're not going to touch on managing a user support project. This is more for the project managers. One of the things that I would like to actually show you is using the MS Project, and really what an MS Project looks like is something like this. So if you load it, start Microsoft Office MS Project, it's actually something like this. It's going to open up like so, and it actually has two different parts. The left panel here shows the actual tasks, the durations, the dates, the begin and end date, who's responsible for which. The right part here shows the Gantt chart, G-A-N-T-T, Gantt chart, and it's just a bar graph simulation of what the task looks like. And a while ago, you've seen a glimpse of my one of the MS Project timeline I built in my prior project life, and this is all about creating a website for a particular client. So the left portion here simply shows you again the description of the project tasks, and the second one shows you the dependencies and the timing by which the task is going to be completed. So really, if I'm going to show you how this thing is read, you would see something like, okay, never mind the right panel for now, just focus your attention on this left panel. So you would see the project consists of 5 different phases, and each phase has a specific duration, and each phase also shows you when is it going to start, when is it going to finish, and it also shows you the percent completed for each project. So for instance, if I'm going to expound on the first phase, and let's say, okay, I'm going to put Danny here as the person responsible for this one, and Danny has just reported 50% completion on task 3, which is this task. So I'm going to put here 50%, and you automatically see that it gets imputed right here. So on the concept part, it's already 10% done because one of the tasks gets already partially done. So if you go directly here, Danny's also responsible for this. Predrag is responsible for this, for instance. So let's say Danny reported that the user requirements have been completed. Predrag has reported that that's been completed. This one is only 75% completed, 50% completed. You will see that the computation goes up in terms of this phase, and roughly the entire project shows the percent completion. And on the right panel here, you will see that this bar here that right now has that particular horizontal black bar that shows how much it is completed. And it also shows you based on this column who's responsible for this. Is it Danny? Okay, and it also shows you the dependencies. Like for instance, this tasks over here would only happen once this task gets completed. So unless this task is not completed, this task should not start. Okay, so this is all about dependencies. Let me show you how this thing gets built. Let me do something from scratch here, and let's just say a typical project timeline. Let's say going to school. Okay, or no, let's try something different. Installing a Windows 2008 server. How's that? So installing a Windows 2008 server, you'll start with that. You press enter, and then right off the bat you try to identify what are the major phases that comprises installing a Windows 2008 server. So it could be, number 1 could be something like review inventories. Okay, and since this is a part of the previous task, you try to highlight that one, and then you try to indent it like so. Okay, well, let's say this task is going to take 5 working days. Let's say the second part would be after reviewing the inventories, preparing the software pack. Okay, let's see if I can type software packages. Say this is going to take 7 days, but this will only happen after this part here, which is review inventories, ends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link these two tasks by clicking my left mouse button and dragging it here and releasing it like so. So automatically you would see that the start date for the for task number 3 in this example, for task number 3 starts after, okay, the previous task gets finished. And let's say in this case you would say, okay, the resource name would be Jeff, this would be Danny, and if you notice the percent completion is not in here by default, so you can add that column right here by going to right click, insert column. It's way up here, click OK. Normally you don't need the predecessor because it only replicates what's being shown in the Gantt chart, so you can hide this one, don't really need that. And rightfully so, you would see something like that, and so forth and so on. Number 3 would be doing the installation proper. So let's say under review inventories you have sub steps. Let's say you've got 3 sub steps here. So let me insert a row here by pressing my insert button like so. 1, 2, 3. So under the review inventories I would say review logs. Review logs would be under review inventory, so I'm going to indent it like so again. I'm going to also review service packs, and I'm going to review compatibility. Okay, so let's say all of these 3 should happen within the 7 days that we're going to that we're going to put for review inventory. So let's say review logs would go for 2 days, service pack will go for 2 days, review compatibility will go for 1 day. Okay, and all of this should be dependent on each other. So service pack is not going to happen unless review logs is done, so we're going to have this dependency like so. And review compatibility is not going to happen unless review packs is done, so we're going to have dependencies on this one. And this one we're going to actually take out the link by right clicking here. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I meant this one. Okay, I'm going to delete that by double click. I did double click this line over here. Okay, and now this entire portion here would only happen once this entire phase is done. This black here shows that entire phase of review inventory, so I'm going to drag a line from here to there instead. And installation will happen after preparing software packs are done. So it's going to be like that. Okay, so automatically it computed 5 days because 2 plus 2 plus 1 equals 5 days. So you can have, you know, multiple people doing this. This could be Jeff, this could be Abbott, this could be Curly. Okay, so how's that? 10%, 20%, 30%, and that's all there is to it. You know, this is how Project Manager shows to the project sponsor, to the user community, what is the current project tasks, who's supposed to do what, when is it going to be completed, when it should be completed, how much are we completed by this time. And this is a very cool tool by Microsoft, and it would really help you a lot, guys, even though you're not project managers but you're network administrators, if you know how to craft one. By crafting one, you would learn how to read one. So that's the start of being a project manager eventually in the future. And try to incorporate, play around with this tool, you know, on your day-to-day, you know, planning, or, you know, semestral planning, so that you'll get a feel on how to use this MS Project, which is really very cool. I will end my discussion with that, and I just would like to clarify or reiterate that the exam is going to happen on Thursday, 11 o'clock to 1 p.m. That will happen on August 19th. I didn't know why I put 11 there. It should be August 19th. And it'll be in room 206. And of course, the coverage will be chapter 5, 6, and 8. So, just a little tip, I would really suggest that you don't need the book, just read the slides. I will make sure that the slides for chapters 5, 6, and 8 are properly attached on the blackboard going to the next week. So just read the slides, you don't need to read the book. I'm just going to pull the questionnaires from the slides. Anyways, I won't be seeing you anymore tomorrow. I will see you next week, and good luck everyone. Bye.